You ever walk into your own house and get screamed at by a total stranger, like you're the criminal? That's what happened to me. And let me tell you, I wish I was making this up because it starts off funny in a sad way and ends with more courtroom drama than a season of Law and Order. Get out of my house before I call the cops. That's what Maureen Prescott, my HOA president, screamed in my face the minute I walked through my own door after 3 months away, and she wasn't asking politely. No, she was spitting mad, like I was the one trespassing, not her so-called guests unpacking their suitcases in my living room. Let me back up a sec. I've been gone for a good while, out guiding kayak tours on wild rivers, and all I wanted was to come home, sleep in my own bed, breathe that still lake air my grandfather always loved. But the second I pulled up, something fell off. The yard was trimmed sharp as a country club, way better than I ever managed, to be honest, and the mailbox, usually stuffed with junk, held only a couple bills. Someone was keeping house, but it sure as hell wasn't me. I brushed it off, told myself maybe some lost tourist had turned around in my drive, but then I spotted that unfamiliar silver SUV half hidden behind the trees. And when I walked inside, carrying my own damn key, the smell hit me first. Fresh coffee, strong and sharp. Only problem? I don't even own a coffee maker. My gear was still out in the truck. Yet upstairs, I could hear water running like someone was showering in my home. That's when I saw them, a couple mid-40s in bathrobes, looking as shocked to see me as I was to see them. The woman snatched her husband's arm like I was an intruder, and the guy squared up, all puffed chest, and "Who are you?" before I could even say my name. It was almost funny, except it wasn't. They insisted they had every right to be there, flashed a laptop with a slick-looking booking page, told me they'd paid $250 a night for 3 nights to the Pine Lake HOA vacation rental program. The logo was legit. Everything looked real, except I hadn't authorized a damn thing. I dug through my emails and bank statements right there, right in front of them. Nothing. No rental income, no notification, no authorization. Just confusion and anger building on both sides. I mean, they had receipts, confirmation emails, check-in instructions, the whole 9 yards. They weren't scammers, they were scammed, just like me. Call the cops, I said finally, because I want this documented. The sheriff's deputy was young, but sharp. Checked my ID, confirmed my deed, verified the couple's booking and payment. And then he just looked at all 3 of us, like he'd seen this sort of thing before. "I'm sorry, folks. This is unauthorized use of property. You need to get your money back from whoever took it." The wife started crying. Their anniversary trip ruined, their daughter at home dog sitting. The husband pressed a business card in my hand before they left, asking me to let them know if I found out who did this. They planned to sue. Once they were gone, I sat there in the dark, staring at the lake, feeling violated in a way that didn't make sense until I realized what it was. Someone had decided they could profit from my home, from the place my grandfather built with his own hands, and hadn't even bothered to ask. I knew in my gut who'd orchestrated it, too. Maureen Prescott, 8 years as HOA president, always in control, always just a little too polished at community meetings. First thing Monday, I was at the HOA office when the doors opened. The building looked harmless, all fresh paint and neat hedges, but Maureen's face when she saw me, that was something else. She flipped through surprise, calculation, and a too-smooth smile in about 2 seconds. She slid a folder across her desk and started talking about temporary management programs and Section 7.3 of the covenants, claiming any house, abandoned or neglected, could be rented by the HOA to maintain standards. She insisted it had all been voted on. Show me meeting minutes with my name and signature. Only, it wasn't my signature, not even close. I called her bluff. Demanded financial records. She stonewalled, hiding behind board member-only policies. I knew better. State law gave every homeowner the right to see those records. She finally slid me a single summary sheet, lumping rental income into miscellaneous revenue. The numbers didn't add up, not even close. And here's the twist, the kind of thing that makes you question your own sanity. That night, after calling neighbors, I learned 4 other houses were being rented the same way, all out-of-towners, all supposedly gave consent, but none of them had. The next day, I ran the business registration number from the rental sign by the entrance. Turns out, it wasn't owned by the HOA. It was owned by Lakeview Property Services, LLC. Guess who the agent was? Maureen Prescott herself. The address? The HOA office. Yeah, that happened. This wasn't incompetence. This was fraud. She'd built a whole side business using the HOA as cover, forging signatures, skimming thousands off other people's properties. My grandfather's voice echoed in my head. Stand your ground, but do it with proof, not with anger. So I called an old friend, a lawyer I'd trusted since our rock climbing days in Missoula, and laid out the story. He walked me through what to do. Gather documents, trace money flow, get testimonies, and don't confront her directly. Not yet. I spent days investigating. Found the same rental listings on 3 different platforms, tracked bookings, calculated the income. $270,000 a year from 6 properties, yet the HOA reported only $42,000 in extra revenue. The rest vanished. Digging deeper, I discovered Maureen had tried this scam before. A dissolved LLC in Idaho, lawsuit sealed, but names visible. For homeowners, all former clients. Pattern of behavior, clear as day. Here's where it gets cinematic. We set up a sting. My lawyer sent in a married couple, friends of his from Bozeman, posing as tourists. They booked my house online, paid through the rental portal, and Maureen herself met them, playing the perfect host. She spouted lie after lie, said the HOA had full authority, that I'd signed over management rights, even showed off a forged authorization form. All of it was recorded, video and audio, legally. The payment? Straight to Lakeview Property Services, not the HOA. Now we had her. I brought it all to the detective in the county's financial crimes unit, a woman with the sharpest eyes I've ever seen. She watched the sting video twice, then told me what I'd feared. This isn't just rental fraud. It's wire fraud, identity theft, money laundering. She's running a criminal operation under the color of HOA authority. The detective pulled financials, real ones. $680,000 in rental income over 18 months, with Maureen transferring $25, $40K a month from the HOA account to her LLC, then shuffling it through personal accounts, a shell company, even offshore wires. We're talking full-scale federal crimes here. That's when the threats started. Maureen called the office manager in, tried to scare him into silence. Then I got text messages from an unknown number. Drop your investigation or face serious consequences. Legal threats, liens, you name it. She even went online, bragging about innovative HOA programs and community improvements. The level of denial was almost impressive. We moved fast. The police organized simultaneous warrants for her home, the HOA office, and my property. My job was simple. Walk in during her next tour, confront her, and keep her talking until they arrived. I'll never forget that scene. Maureen, mid-cell, family of 4 wide-eyed in my living room. I told them who I was, showed them the business records, and asked if she had my permission to rent the house. She doubled down, tried to keep up the act, but when I started calling out the business registrations, the forgeries, the money trail, she snapped. And that's when the cops came through the door. She tried to run. I kid you not, straight out the back, clutching a bag stuffed with $8,000 in cash. Cops caught her on the deck, cash scattering into the wind, and brought her back in cuffs. The detective found everything. Multiple business banking apps open, forged contracts, ledgers with 3 years of handwritten records. It was all there, plain as day. Her empire, built on lies, fell apart in less than an hour. The trial was a circus. Prosecutors laid out every transfer, every forged signature, every intimidation email. Maureen's defense tried to paint her as a burned-out volunteer, just trying to save the community. But the facts were brutal. $680,000 in fraud. Only a fraction spent on real community expenses, the rest funneled into her own pockets or off to who knows where. I testified, along with the widow's son, the wildlife biologist, the office manager. The handwriting expert took apart her forgeries. The forensic accountant mapped every dollar. Maureen tried to defend herself, but it all fell apart when she admitted she deserved compensation for her work, like that gave her the right to take other people's property. The jury wasn't fooled. Guilty on every count. Sentencing day, The judge didn't hold back. 5 years federal time, $680,000 in restitution, 3 years probation, and a permanent ban from ever serving on another HOA board. The restitution process was tough. Morin's house and car were auctioned, accounts liquidated. Each of us homeowners got partial payments. I donated half my settlement back to the HOA with one catch. It had to fund legal education for homeowners. The new HOA board brought real change, open financials, detailed reports, homeowner votes on big expenses, real accountability. People showed up, asked questions, and made sure no one could ever pull this kind of scam again. These days, I help other folks across Montana who find themselves up against shady HOAs. I tell them what my grandfather always told me: stand your ground with proof, not anger. The sun still sets over Pine Lake just like it did when I was a kid, painting the water gold and orange. A reminder that places can heal, but only if you fight for them. So, let me ask you, do you think justice was truly served here? Have you ever had to take on a crooked leader or stand up for your rights against a system that was supposed to protect you? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you've got a story like mine, I want to hear it. Hit like, share this with someone who needs to know they're not alone, and stick around for more stories of justice, payback, and the fight to keep what's yours.